Welcome to this yoga class. I'm not going to say on video what it is because I'm going to put that in the description because sometimes I change my mind. So welcome to this yoga class. My name is Roseanne and I'll be guiding you today as you come onto your mat on your back. If you need any blocks, please have those available to you. Always great to lift the earth toward us. Start off where we often do. Our back to the earth. Let the earth rise up to you and you to meet it. Just take a few breaths here. Notice the quality of your breath. As much non-judgment as possible. Just notice where you're at in this moment, here, now. There's no right or wrong, there just is. Widen the breath. So inhale, expand through the sides of the ribs. Maybe exhale through the mouth to release some tension. Inhale, broaden. Choose the exhale. Press the air out. One more inhale, allow it to happen. And carve out the exhale. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. It's a space between those joints. And make circles of the wrists and ankles. Reverse. And take a long body stretch here and reach to the right side longer than the left. And then switch. Just continue this action side to side. And notice the waist does. It moves with the arm and leg. That stretch long. Perhaps moves in the opposite direction. Really grow this movement. Maybe you bend one elbow and then the other. Maybe the knees start to bend alternatively. And one long body stretch. Bring on a yawn, let it become real. And sweep the arms round as you bring the palms to heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today, joining me today, rather. Namaste. From here, let's hug that right knee in toward the chest. That other foot could plant if you need for the lower back. Give me more ease filled here as we hug that knee and release a little. Squeeze and release. I like to inhale as I release and exhale as I squeeze. Two more. Last time, squeeze. And then make circles with that knee toward the sky. Move through the hip here. Reverse directions. Then pause the leg, lengthen it out. And then maybe bring it slightly over midline. It won't go very far as you feel hopefully down the right side of that outer side of that leg, the end of the IT band, and then bend and lengthen a few times. One more time, lengthen the leg, inhale. And exhale to bend it. And if it will come across further, you can allow that right hip to lift off the earth. It's a little early in the practice, but you might be able to roll right over. Perhaps the arms extend here. And slide that right leg long as the arms come overhead. So you're on the left side. Reach that right leg long behind you. The toes may or may not touch the earth as you sweep the leg forward and back, just to see if you can find the psoas here. Maybe pause somewhere along the way. Lift the bottom waist, inhale. And then exhale to return to the spine with your arms wide, legs wide. And from here, lift those arms overhead as the legs come towards one another, and then everything comes out to the sides. The mat might provide a little resistance here. I'm in this snow angel here. It's a little early to say the word snow. Perhaps you're in a bunch of leaves here. Think of a child jumping into a pile of leaves. Sweep those arms open and close. Same with the legs. Then bring those legs back in, arms overhead, long body stretch again. And then sweep those arms around as you hug that left thigh in. Squeeze and release a little. Exhale to squeeze. Inhale to release. A few more. Last one, squeeze. Then release. And extend that leg long for just a moment. Then bend it and make some circles with the knee. Hands can support here. Switch directions. The core might turn on to help support the stability through the pelvis, because you may be wanting to rock here. And then still the leg until you lengthen that shin up to the sky. And bend. And lengthen. Bend. Lengthen. Then bring the leg across the body. And let's do that same action. Bend. And lengthen. You can always stay in stillness too. And pause here. Feel that IT band on the left side. And bend that knee and roll toward the right this time to any degree. Feel the intercostals open with each breath. Then roll into that right side, top arm and leg extend. That left leg extends behind the body again. You can see the back of me here as it sweeps forward and back. Just to find, right there. That's psoas as we lift the bottom waist. For some, we may not feel anything. For others, a lot. If you sit a lot, I think people that sit a lot feel this pose more. Or if you're a runner or a cyclist, inhale here. And exhale, return to the spine in that wide position once more. And just rest here. Little somatic work. Bring your arms kind of into an X. The legs are probably in the right position. And reach far through that left hand. Extend it a little further. And soften it to the earth. And reach your right arm a little further. And soften. That right leg. Let it go. Reach left leg long. let it go. This may even feel a little awkward. Left arm, release. Let your body slide in the earth. Right arm, release. Right leg, unwind. Stretch a left leg, unwind, and just notice. We'll pause. Notice if the hips or the pelvis and the torso sway side to side here. Nothing wrong with that. Just notice. Become aware of your side body. This time, a left leg extends and release. Right. Let it go. Right leg or right arm, sorry. And let it go. Left arm. Release. One more time. Left leg. Release. Right leg. Release. Right arm. Let it go. Reach left arm. Let it go. Take those palms and press them down to the earth by your sides. Bring those legs a little closer together and fire up through the toes. Flex them toward the nose and press through the arms, backs of shoulders, and head as you lift. I think we did this the other day. Lift your booty off the earth and lower it down. Soften. Flex through the feet. Lift. Engage the back line. And release. Again, lift, breathe. Exhale as you release everything down. 2 more, lift. Soften to the earth. Last one, lift, pause a little longer. And lower back down. Slide those feet in. From here, begin to peel the spine off the earth. Arms can stay planted. And come into a bridge. Arms extend directly from the shoulder, fingertips toward the sky. See if you can really draw those shoulders down toward the earth, and then allow the arms to extend, reach for the sky, and then bring the shoulders down. And as you do this, let's integrate through the ribs, pull them slightly toward the pubic bone. Next time you bring those shoulders in, bring your arms overhead. I may not have the rim here. Arms can be extended. I might have to bend mine a bit. Bring them to your sides and overhead as you retain this bridge position with the legs. A few more. Those arms may or may not reach all the way to the earth above you, or overhead rather. Last one, arms extend overhead. Lower the hips as you circle the arms round. Hug the knees into the chest. Extend those legs to the sky. Point flex those toes a few times. And then from here, bend those knees and bring them directly in alignment with the hips. A little bit of core here. Let's bring those hands behind the head. You could also have the feet planted. Hands behind the head here. Inhale. And exhale to curl. Inhale to lower. And exhale to curl. And as we do this, try to, although it seems counterintuitive, press the head back into the hands. Keep the elbows wide. This is to protect the neck and make sure that this comes from the core. So as we press the head back, we try to lift through the center. Could make it way more challenging. So 2 more. Last one, lift. Release those hands by your sides and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale to hug those knees in and lower the head. Perhaps you rock the head side to side and wiggle the jaw. Plant those feet on the earth, extend the arms, windshield wash to the legs. Allow them to drape to one side, only to come to press yourself up into seated and then tabletop. Hands underneath the shoulders, shins on the earth here. And sway the hips side to side. Perhaps look over one shoulder and then the other. You need a little padding underneath the knees if you have kind of some people have that slice of a mat, or you have a kind of a thin blanket. You could do that as well. It's a little bit of padding here. And come back into your tabletop and arch your spine. And then round. Cat cow or cat tilts. There's a few more here. Last one, arch, look up, inhale. Exhale, stick out the tongue. And round. And roll up onto the shins, arms sweep behind the body. Perhaps they just come in behind, or maybe they come to the sacrum as you open up through the heart. Fill out the tongue. And tuck the toes, and maybe you sit on your heels here. Great stretch for the bottoms of the feet. And clasp the shoulders. Make circles with the elbows. Elbows might even touch in front of the face. If you're a runner, you'll be feeling this in your feet. Reverse. I should say that a lot of people could feel this in their feet. One more here, and then lift up onto the shins, arms, sweep in front, sweep overhead, and pour your body forward so that you can come onto the belly. Come into Sphinx pose here on the forearms. Tuck the chin. And look up if you can. Might be a micro movement. And allow the chin to come to the chest. And look up. And here we press through the feet to activate the whole of the legs. One more inhale. Look up. And lower yourself down to the earth. From here, bend those knees, crisscross the ankles. And slide those hands a little closer to the shoulder. Usually they're below the shoulder. You have to find the position that feels really, really strong for you and activate through those fingers. Draw them slightly toward one another as you press the hands down. Inhale here as the elbows draw back, and exhale to press yourself almost into child's pose. I like to tuck my toes and roll forward with the chest. Allow the shoulders to come toward the ears with a little shrug here, and then press away, and then come again into that almost child's pose. So press your booty back. Come forward here. Allow the shoulders to come toward the ears. Press the earth away and slide the hips back. Again. Shrug. Press back. One more. Come forward, shrug, press back. And from this press back position, tuck the toes if you haven't already. Lift the hips up into downward facing dog, and perhaps pedal the feet. As you find your width here, maybe you need to adjust the position of the hands, wider or narrower. For some of us, that the fingers slightly turn out, not too far, but we might have the index pointed forward, or we might have the middle finger pointed forward. Kind of depends on your shoulders. Once you feel strong here, bend those knees to hover off the earth. Really pull that core up and in, and lengthen the legs. And then again, hover those knees. And lengthen the legs out. This time as you hover, come into that crouch, you might be able to look forward depending on your neck health. And then come back into the down dog. And again, crouch. And down dog. Last time, crouch. And just hover here as you bring the body slightly forward so that your wrists and your shoulders are in alignment in the hover. And if you're able, you can step back into a plank. Let's lower ourselves down either on knees or with the knees elevated off the earth and come into either Sphinx, Cobra, Upward Facing Dog. I'm going to come into a low Cobra here. And allow the chest to return to the earth as those hands slide toward the shoulders and we press back into down dog and that left leg sweeps up into the air. Bend the knee and stack the hips for just a moment as you see if you can press the weight evenly through both hands. And take that knee and bring that left leg forward. Plant the foot, shorten your stance, and roll up nice and slow. Maybe use the arms as an assist here. And hands can come overhead. Pause here. And press your both feet evenly. You don't have to be narrow. We want to feel stable here, more like train tracks with the feet, not a balance beam. Draw that left heel isometrically toward you so the foot won't actually move. Just feel that strength there and then press the back heel down evenly. Really activate through the quad as it pulls toward the bone. From here, open up into Warrior Two. So right side body opens to the side wall. So we perhaps lengthen our stance. Gaze over the middle finger of the front arm to find your drishti. Try not to clench the toes. See if you can release them and then press the feet down. Drop the back arm. Left arm reaches into exalted. And then come into side angle. That left forearm to the thigh. Other arm might come overhead. It could be at your side. It could be over the ear. Press that forearm at the bottom forearm into the thigh, and the thigh isometrically presses back. Just a sense of lift so you don't dump. And from here, pivot on the back toes and allow that right arm to come down, hand to plant, or perhaps on a block as you rotate toward that left bent knee. This is where a couch or something will come in handy, or a block. As you pop those back toes off the earth, walk that right hand forward as you need to lift that back leg and come into revolved half moon. It's quite challenging here. Micro bend in that supporting leg, flex through that back foot or point the foot. So you flex through the toes and allow that left hand to come down. And let's pull that right knee in and step the feet side by each. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees and let's roll up through the spine. Once the hands pass the heart, inhale. And exhale, bring your hands down through center. Breathe here. One more inhale. And exhale, lift those arms overhead. Or inhale, lift those arms overhead. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Step back into your plank, any version you wish. Let's take a few shoulder scapular push-ups here. So we allow the chest to dip and then press the earth away. And the elbows just stay micro-bended. Let the chest dip and press away. So again, this can be done from the knees. Strength here today and kind of staying in places. Press away. And then come down into your version of Chaturanga. Bring the chest through the arms in any variation. Sphinx, Cobra, upward facing dog. And hips up and back, down dog. That right leg rises this time. Bend the knee, stack the hips open. Toward that right side wall. Even weight through the hands as you press the earth away. That's how we protect the shoulders. Integrate the ribs. And then allow those hips to return or to face the earth as you pull that right leg through and plant the foot. Shorten your stance. And on your exhale, rise. Warrior one. Find your steadfastness here. Notice where your attention is. Around 2 more breaths. Inhale here. And exhale to open up toward the left side wall. Heel toe that back foot further behind you if you need. Traditionally, that heel might be in alignment with the center of the foot or heel to heel. But again, you can widen it if you need. Depends what feels good on your knees and hips. Just press those feet into the earth and draw always, pretty much most of the standing postures, that lead heel slightly toward you. Stay with it. Strong warrior, one more inhale. And exhale, that left arm drops, right arm reaches. Exalted or reverse warrior. Inhale. And exhale, that right forearm comes to that lead leg. Press it into the thigh. Lift the torso up. This is really about length through the side body, especially on the top side, but both sides. One more inhale. And as you exhale, pivot on the back toes, and then allow that left hand to come down as the right arm reaches and you rotate toward the lead leg. You might need to grab that block and bring it to the end of your mat, unless you have some furniture that will help you here. As you pop those back toes forward, creep that left hand forward as you need to lift the back leg. This revolved half moon. One more inhale. And exhale, those hands come to the earth. And extend one more moment through that left foot, and then curl the knee in and plant the feet side by each. This time, bend the knees, sit into chair as the arms sweep up, perhaps by the sides of the ears, maybe at heart center, maybe just hands on hips or thighs. As you press yourself up to stand, circle the arms. And just stand here in your strength. Again, that focus of the press of the feet, grounded, rooted. With the heels and the forefoot. Lift the toes and let's set them back down, one at a time if you're able. Fire up through the quadricep, pull that muscle kind of higher up toward your center, toward the bone and up. Toward your torso. Shoulders back and down. One more inhale. And exhale, bend those knees and bring the hands to heart center here. Reach to the crown as you inhale. As you exhale, rotate toward the right and hook that left elbow onto the right thigh. From here, you might be able to come onto the left toes and slide that leg back. You could always lower the knee as well. My hands here are pressed together in prayer. And the arms might open and reach. One more inhale here. This is a tricky one. Bend that left knee, lift the torso up, and you might need to shorten your stance a little here. Ooh, I'm falling down. Everybody falls sometimes. And here you are in boomerang, very challenging pose. So back knee is bent, arms are open as they can be, or hands at heart. And that back arm will sweep forward, palm to palm, hands in front of the body, as you set that back foot down and slide that left hand along the right arm and open up across the chest back into a warrior two. Lots of work in the legs here today. So lengthen the lead leg, send the hips back in space, and find your triangle. Right arm reaches down and the left arm reaches up. And try not to really reach too far for the earth, even though I said reach for it. Extend through the crown. Lengthen in the spine is more important than your hand touching down. Instead, that right hand can come into the shin, can press into the shin as the shin isometrically presses back. And we're inhale. As we exhale, take that left hand, have it meet the right one. And shorten your stance. Hands can come to the earth or blocks here as your hips now point forward to the short edge of your mat. Squeeze those inner thighs slightly toward one another and draw the right hip back, left hip forward, and allow extension through the spine and then let it round. Forward folding triangle. You might feel some lengthening through the hamstring. And from here, come onto those back toes and allow or slide or creep that back foot further behind you to come into this low lunge with the hands on the earth. And then bring that right hand to the inseam of that lead leg. And here we are in lizard. You might drop the back shin here. You might keep it lifted. You could also have your forearms stacked on blocks. Just to highlight some different variations here. Explore, squeeze that right thigh kind of in toward the upper arm on that same side. And see what that feels like. One more breath in. And release that squeeze. And if you wish, if it feels comfortable, allow yourself to come onto the outside of the right foot so the right knee opens. And notice if you feel this in a different area of the leg. And we're inhale here. If you want a little more, you can lift that right hand off the earth and rotate open toward the lead leg just for a moment. Then place that hand back down as that right foot plants again. From here, step back into your version of plank. Take a chaturanga if you wish. So come down part way to that tricep push-up and lift your chest into your upward facing dog of choice and tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Shake the head, yes. And shake it, no. Walk or step forward to the front of your mat. Hands to shins halfway lifted. Inhale. Exhale to fold and bend those knees and sink into that chair. Hands come to heart center once more. Press the palms together. Really reach through the crown. Prepare yourself. Come onto those right toes. Slide that leg back. And rotate toward the left side this time. Hook that right elbow on that left outer thigh. One more breath in. And perhaps open the arms for another round. Your next inhale. And then exhale, bend that back leg, lift the torso up into that boomerang. Again, hands can be at heart center, or that left hand will sweep forward, turn your torso forward. Hands might meet, blade the back foot and slide that right hand along that left arm and open up across the chest. Warrior two. From here, lengthen that lead leg, shorten your stance if need, send the hips out in space, lengthen through the spine as you revolve the arms. And triangle, really press that bottom hand into the shin. Imagine there's a wall behind you. It's like you're between two panes of glass. Take your gaze where you wish. One more inhale here. And exhale, bend that lead knee. Come into a side angle. I forgot it on the other side. And then pivot on the back toes and turn your torso back toward the earth. Hands come down to frame the front foot into that runner's lunge, low runner's lunge. And the hands come to the inseam of the lead leg. Or lizard on this side. You might drop the back shin, might stay elevated. And explore, squeeze that left thigh in toward the armpit. Inhale. As you exhale, heel toe that foot, that lead foot out maybe a little further to the side and blade it. Come onto that left side of the foot. Rotate toward that same leg. And hands back down and pause again here. More inhale. Then plant that left foot once more as a hand step back into a plank. Again, if you wish, come forward slightly with the body in that strong plank. Really activate through the legs and lower part way into your chaturanga. And come into your version of Sphinx Cobra upward facing dog. And tuck the toes, hips up and back, down, dog. That right leg will come high into the sky. And pull it through to meet the hands and drape the shin for pigeon. If you don't like pigeon, you can always drop that right hip on the earth and try deer. Now with deer, you allow that back leg to bend. I'll turn this way. And the front leg to be, it may be parallel, it may not be. It could be anywhere from parallel or in less. So 90 degrees or less. So this is our deer where the hip is down. If you lean forward, you might be able to find sensation in through the right glute and IT band. So that's what we look for in these and any of the pigeon related postures. Or perhaps that back leg is long, directly out of the hip socket. Could stay high, or in any variation, can come down onto forearms or to the earth or to a block. So you press that front shin into the earth. Move the tongue around the mouth. In all directions. Wiggle the jaw, find release. One more inhale here. And exhale, if you were down, begin to rise. And you could just stay here in this high pigeon, or maybe bend the back leg. And you might grab the pant leg. You might be able to reach for the shin or ankle. This will add more of a quadricep stretch sensation here. It's not for everyone though. Just listen to your body. Make sure your knee feels healthy. Some people will lift the front arm off the earth and arc it. I'm not going to do that today. One more inhale. And exhale to release the bind if you have it. Tuck the back toes of that left leg and suction cup the right leg in and then send it high to the sky. And plant the feet side by each. The left leg comes up and pull it through and drape the shin. Nothing too complicated today. So again, you could stay elevated. So here we are in our pigeon, back leg long, shin presses into the earth. We come forward, or you allow that kind of sink here. Allow that left hip to drop. Maybe to see better on the side. You can bend the back leg, adjust as you need. Some people feel nothing here. Other people, this is better than pigeon. Pigeon can be injurious for some. And if you lean forward and kind of play with your angles of your shins, you might feel that left glute or a T-band. Flex the front foot, especially if you're at that 90-degree position. So here are pigeon. You can play with that tongue, move it around the mouth. In all directions. Is there anything you can soften? And more inhale here. And as you exhale, begin to lift up if you were lowered. Stay high. You could bend that back leg, you could even just stay with it bent. Or clasp with the same hand, that back leg. Flex through the foot. Press the shin into the hand into the shin if you're there. Again, some people might lift that lead hand. If not, just focus on leveling out through the hips. Because I know if I lift the hand, I'm going to drape too much to one side. So I'm working on the strength here of that hug into the thighs. Or inhale and release any bind that you might have. Hands out in front, tuck those back toes, suction cup the left leg in for just a moment, hover, and lift it high. And feet side by each as you wave the spine forward, perhaps into a plank. And take a final chaturanga. The final version of up dog, any variation. And widen the feet, or the knees rather, and press your hips back for child's pose if it's in your practice. If it's not, you may choose to just hug your knees into your chest on your back, or maybe a happy baby. Perhaps you play with the palms and turn them up to the sky. Another variation for the hands would be to bring them together in prayer and bring them to the nape of your neck. Breathe into the belly. One more inhale here. And lengthen those arms out. If they were bent, slide onto the belly. Let's cactus those arms here. And from here, you can bend that left knee. And you can allow the torso to start to, you can roll onto that left side. You might, right side, you can extend that right arm if you want. You might even roll all the way over. That left foot might come across the body to the right-hand side and plant. So chest opener here. An arm could be in cactus. I almost find that more intense than with the arm extended. And then return to your belly and extend or cactus the other arm. Press into that right hand to start to roll over onto the left side. Perhaps right foot comes to plant behind you, maybe not. Could be in front as well. Could be that the knee, inside of the knee and the thigh is on the earth. Or inhale here. Ooh, and exhale, return to the belly. Now you might take Savasana right here. You might choose to stay on your belly or roll onto the back. Find your variation that works for you. Either way, breathe into that belly. Heavy the body a little more. Notice the points of contact with the earth. Scan each one. And notice the spaces that lift off the earth, the curves of your body. And let go of any effort. Nothing to do, to lie here on the floor and be. Wherever you are, perhaps you add some movements into the body, some micro movements. On your belly, maybe you sway your hips side to side. Maybe a long body stretch if you're on your back. Just do what serves. Perhaps you hug your knees into your chest, or if on your belly, you slide back into a child's pose. Maybe this time with the knees closer together, if it's okay for the hips. As you sweep the arms and behind, or circle the arms and behind the body, and interlace the fingers to close the circuit. Tuck the chin. On your back, you might roll into your side. If you're in the child's pose, you might slowly roll up vertebra by vertebra as you release the hands. Make your way from wherever you are into seated. Roll the shoulders. Sway the head. Then drop the chin. And bring the head to center. And something for the vagus nerve. If you find you have issues with blood pressure, heart issues, you might choose to forego this. It's great for anxiety. Take your eyes all the way to the right and keep them there. Notice if the head wants to move with the eyes, try to keep it centered. Notice if there's a change in tension. And the eyes come back to center. And just notice any shifts. There may or may not be. And bring the eyes to the left and pause. You notice a sigh, swallow, or yawn. Those are common. The eyes return to center. Sense yourself here, space around the body, the air on your skin. And take those arms overhead. Perhaps you look up and bring your hands to your forehead. May our thoughts come from our heart. Bring the hands to the mouth and the throat. May our words be compassionate, but empowered and true. Into our hearts, the compassion lies. If you want to send a little bit of that out today, perhaps you join me in this chant or this little song. If you don't know it, that's okay. It's long time sun. Repeat it twice. The last round, the last refrain, we say it 3 times. So here it is. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Again. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. And send out into the world a little bit of peace. One long satnam. Thank you for practicing with me today. Satnam. May we have a healthy perspective when we leave our mats. One that can encourage peace. Thank you for practicing with me today. I work in studio at Giovanni Wellness in Simcoe County and at the Body Hub in Midhurst, Ontario. Thank you. Have a good day.